This morning we have quite a wonderful program. Our first speaker is Theresa Ofstad, and she brought with her the program manager from the Alzheimer's Association. This is Savannah, and in training. There you go. All right. Let me tell you a little bit about Theresa. She's a community educator, a Caregiver Support Group Facilitator, advocate, and walk committee member for the Alzheimer's Association. She's the founder of Fuller Life Foundation, has worked in home care, assisted living communities, and senior living advisor, helping families find the best place for their aging loved ones to live. Her passion is helping seniors started when watching her grandmother battle with Alzheimer's. So the program today is talking about what we all can do to improve our quality of life by addressing issues related to healthy lifestyles. So without ado, Theresa.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Eileen, for that introduction. I gotta get the mic going again here. So, as she said, my name is Theresa Ofstad. I'd like to share just a little bit of the reason why I became a volunteer with the Alzheimer's Association, and that is because I watched my grandmother valiantly battle a disease that she had no way of winning when I was just 8 years old. And I watched my family of 6 struggle to care for her and tried to keep her at home as long as they could until the disease progressed to the point where they needed to find a good community of memory care to move her to. I watched my grandmother thrive in this community all the way till the very end, and that was very impactful for me. Fast forward to just a few years ago when my father started showing signs of the disease. Now, it's a long journey of getting diagnosed, so he's still in some of that early stage of, they finally gave him a diagnosis of MCI, which I'll explain in just a few minutes, mild cognitive impairment. And with that diagnosis, I knew I needed to educate myself to not only help my dad, but try to help prevent it for myself and my son and future generations. And what I have learned is very valuable, and I love being a community educator to be able to present it to you all today. So thank you for coming. Today's educational presentation is about healthy living for your brain and body, and this is a presentation from the Alzheimer's Association. I am a volunteer for the Southland chapter. So note that the tips for today are about healthy living, but there are many other presentations available as well on the website, alz.org/education. You can find a lot of other presentations there as well. So we're gonna jump right in here. Forgive my back for a second. Alrighty, so what we're going to learn today is identify how certain behaviors affect our brains and bodies. Here's a list of strategies for healthy living that and decision making in the following areas. When we're going to talk about sleep, smoking, mental health, physical activity, balanced nutrition, cognitive engagement, and social engagement, which you're all doing here today. So check mark on that. And throughout this program, you will hear tips for each of these strategies. As we go through these, be sure to fill in any notes that you might have. Due to the time, we're gonna go ahead and answer any questions for you at the end. So make sure to jot down any questions that you may have throughout the presentation. And I'll ask Savannah to join me at the end to answer any of those questions that you may have. So let's go ahead and jump right in here. First, we're going to talk about the brain. The brain is the central center of the entire body. It manages everything that we do, including your emotions, your movement, and thoughts. There are approximately 100 billion nerve cells called neurons. They're structured like branches of a tree that help with, it's a network of pathways that are leading through to give you signals to help send thoughts for memories, thoughts and feelings and functions. So your brain is very, very powerful. There are many diseases that can affect the brain, for example, Alzheimer's, which can progressively destroy the brain cells as it moves through the brain, affecting more functions of than the disease is progressing. But there are many other things that can affect the brain as well. Next, we're going to talk about the connection between the heart and the brain. What's good for the heart is also good for the brain. And the reason for this is because the brain is nourished by the body's richest network, which is your blood vessels. The oxygen and other elements are delivered to the brain through the bloodstream, which keeps the brain nourished. Each time your heart beats, there is 20 to 25% of the blood being moved that goes to your brain. This is why keeping the heart in good working order helps to keep the brain fueled to do this work. It's very important. Again, what's good for your heart is good for your brain. So we're going to start with, we have a couple quick questions through here. Knowledge check. Along this presentation, there's going to be a few questions that I have for you, but here, do you think that Alzheimer's is a normal part of the aging process? I see a lot of heads shaking and thumbs down. I think you're all in the right track. I don't know if I can click it here, but, oh good. I wasn't sure if I had actually clicked false. So the correct answer is false. And so Alzheimer's is a progressive and fatal disease. Symptoms usually develop slowly over time. It is not a normal part of aging, and we're going to go over that right now. Okay. As we get older, it's common to experience some age-related changes to memory or thinking abilities, such as forgetting where you left your keys. How many times have you done that? If you forget where you left your keys, but you can remember later where you put them, it's probably just a normal part of aging. But if you start to find your keys in the freezer or the milk in the cupboard, then there might be something to look into and talk to your doctor. Dementia is a general term, and this is used to describe problems with thinking and memory that are severe enough to interfere with a person's daily life. Dementia is not a normal part of aging. And dementia is only one of the kinds of things that can happen with your brain, obviously, but dementia is more of an umbrella term, and that really does signify the symptoms that you're feeling because of the brain and what is happening. Alzheimer's is only one of over 100 types of dementia that you can have. So dementia being that umbrella term, Alzheimer's being one of the diseases that can cause dementia. I know many people have a question about the difference between the two. So there is currently no cure for Alzheimer's. However, there are drug and non-drug options that can help with symptoms and may have the ability to slow the progression of the disease. There's a lot of great medications and treatments out there right now. The most important thing there is to get diagnosed early if you do have a concern, because those treatments can kind of push that can down the road until one day when we do have a cure for the disease. But today we're going to talk about ways to prevent that. So let's jump to the next one here. So there are different things that affects your overall health and well-being. Many factors can impact health, including your genes, family history, environment, and lifestyle. Some people ask the difference between your genes and family history, and that's genes are genetic. You don't have any control of that. Your family history, sometimes think about, families sit around at a dinner table. They share the same recipes. They do the same things. They have the same traditions. So if you're doing a lot of the same things, that's kind of where your family history can come in. But as we age, it's common for us to experience some similar changes, like getting gray hair or wrinkles, or reading with your glasses, which I forgot at home today. But as individuals, we do experience getting older in many different ways. So we are all individuals, and anyone with Alzheimer's also has an individual experience. So we're all different. In addition, the environment in which we live, work, and play can also have a significant effect on your health. As many of these are difficult to change and are beyond our control. But the things that we can change are things that some of the things that we can control involving our health is nutrition. Things like your lifestyle, and we're going to go through all of these lists right now, activities and physical activity. The other thing is keeping in touch with your doctor. Your blood pressure, blood sugar, weight, and cholesterol levels are all key parts of the story that your overall health. So you want to know what those numbers are. You want to be able to speak to your doctor on a regular basis. Know what the numbers are, what they should be, and what you could be doing to get your body back on track. So what does the science tell us? Growing research suggests that many factors that increase the risk of heart disease and stroke may also increase the risk of cognitive decline and dementia. There is a strong evidence of a connection between midlife high blood pressure or hypertension and later life dementia. This evidence also shows that controlling blood pressure can have a significant effect on your risk for cognitive decline and possibly dementia. So again, we want to be taking care of ourselves, and keeping diabetes as well controlled is super important, because studies have shown there is an increased risk of cognitive decline and possibly dementia among individuals living with diabetes, although diabetes is not a cause of Alzheimer's disease. Maintaining a healthy weight is very important, and researchers have also found that midlife obesity may be associated with an increased risk of dementia. We know that good cholesterol level is good for your heart. And again, what is good for your heart is good for your brain. The best way to combat these health concerns is to know what your numbers are, as I mentioned. You want to speak to your doctor, and if they change over time, you need to know what the doctor recommends for you to get back on track with those numbers. So we have another knowledge check here for you. It's never true or false. It's never too early or too late to incorporate healthy habits. Who thinks that's true? Raise of hands. Okay, good. Most of you are raising your hand. Good job. You're 2 for 2. So people of all ages can benefit from a healthy lifestyle and adding more healthy behaviors. So, what are the tips? What do we focus on? These are some of the most important things that we can be doing. And I will share a little bit later on too. There was a great 10-year study by the US Pointer that really touches on some of these things as well. We want to get quality sleep. That is super, super important. We're going to go over each of these in just a minute. We're going to want to be smoke-free. And if you're smoking now, it's okay, stop. And it will still help you if you stop and quit smoking. Taking care of your mental health. Get moving, eating healthy. Diet and nutrition, super important. Challenge yourself. You want to keep your brains active and working and functioning. And you want to stay connected. Socializing is very important. We'll take a look at the science, what the science tells us about each of these things. And as we touch on each area, think about how you can apply this to your life. Consider what you enjoy doing and make gradual changes. You can add one little tweak each day. Just slowly start to incorporate some of these tips and habits. But first, we're going to start with sleep. As I said, it is super important. You want to think about when you go to sleep at night, first of all, you want at least 7 to 9 hours, no less than 6. 6 is the minimum amount of hours you should be sleeping each night. When you go to bed each night, think of your brain like a wash. Sleep is like a washing machine. It's clearing out all those toxins that are in your brain and helping your body to function properly. So sleep is very, very important. Not only does sleep allow us to rest and recharge, it also affects our ability to maintain healthy blood pressure and control diabetes. Inadequate sleep due to conditions like insomnia or sleep apnea can cause problems with memory and thinking. Sleep apnea is a condition in which breathing stops and restarts many times while you're sleeping. I know many people who have that, and they may have to have a sleep apnea mask to help them get good quality sleep at night. Get good quality sleep at night. That's what it just said. And so adults should aim for no less than 6 hours. Like I mentioned, 7 to 9 is ideal. And of course, sometimes there may be interruptions from others in your home, or noise or factors that may make things difficult to go to sleep or may wake you up in the middle of the night. So you want to think about those things. It's important to try to improve your quality of sleep when possible. So you want to think about your own sleep habits. What do you do at night that helps you go to sleep, or what do you do at night that may be disturbing your sleep? Do you get enough sleep? And importantly, do you get enough quality sleep? What kind of environment helps you sleep? What changes might help you create a more peaceful sleep setting? And how can you minimize disruptions? We're going to go through a few tips. So you can control the temperature in the room. Sometimes if it's too hot, you're not able to sleep, or if it's too cold, you're always looking for that blanket. So try to make sure the room temperature is at a good quality level. And do you sleep better when it's cooler or warmer? Do you need silence or light noise in music in the background, or that white noise machines that sometimes people use to fall asleep? But the TV being on is not a good thing, especially when you're falling asleep at night. I know many people say that that's the only way they can fall asleep, but that light helps keep your body awake, and it doesn't give you the deep quality of sleep that you need. Consider what small changes you might be able to do. For example, as I mentioned, fewer or more blankets, a fan for that white noise, and blackout curtains also help. And we're going to try to minimize those disruptions, like I said. If you frequently experience sleep problems or have sleep apnea, definitely talk to your doctor, because that's very important. And would anybody like to share how many hours of sleep do you get? 7? Yeah. 12? 6? Okay, good. Yeah, you want to definitely get at least 6, and sometimes sleeping beyond 10 or 11 might keep you in a groggy state, so you might want to work on waking up. Do some of these other tips we're going to get to in just a minute. So again, as I mentioned, not smoking is very important. Be smoke-free. The next aspect of healthy living is very much smoke-free. Did you know that smoking has a direct impact on the health of your brain? What do the studies show? Studies have found that smoking increases the risk of cognitive decline, and it may increase the risk of dementia. The benefits of quitting smoking include a lower risk of heart attack, stroke, and lung disease, better circulation, and avoiding exposing others to secondhand smoke. Quitting smoking may reduce a person's chance of developing cognitive decline back down to the normal levels. So even if you are smoking and you stop, then the benefits will start to kick in, and eventually you'll be back to the level as if you've never smoked before. So, yes?
Well, in the past, though, we had a lot of smokers before they stopped. Was Alzheimer's and dementia, now that we're not smoking, it seems like it's rising in Alzheimer's and dementia.
Well, there could be a lot of other factors that are included in that, but as I mentioned, if you've stopped smoking, then it can get your body back to the normal range as if you have never smoked before. So if you continued smoking, then you're really not giving your brain enough oxygen. Again, that heart and brain connection is super important. So the smoke is affecting both your heart and your brain. So if you stop that, then you're starting to get that oxygen flowing through your bloodstream again, and through your heart and through your brain. So that's going to return you back to if you had never smoked before. Okay? One more question, and then we'll save the rest for the end. Alcohol, yes. So I don't have anything about alcohol in here. We're talking about the healthy tips, but alcohol does not cause Alzheimer's or dementia, but obviously it can affect your body and your system. So just like smoking is not good for you, alcohol, and especially an abundance of alcohol, can cause some cognitive decline as well. But it doesn't cause Alzheimer's or dementia. But similar to smoking, moderation. So be smoke-free. What can help me stop? It's very difficult to stop. I know my mom was a smoker for many, many years. Well, throughout my whole childhood, I think I was probably in my 20s or 30s, and one day, one holiday gathering, she just announced she had stopped smoking for 2 weeks, and I was so shocked but happy that she had finally quit. So quitting is hard, but find support. There are quit lines. There are, you can definitely talk to your doctor about any support that might be out there to help you. But as I said, find support lines, quit lines. You can also talk to your doctor and look for programs that might be out there to help you stop. There's patches, there's all sorts of things that you can do to stop. So we're going to move to our mental health next. It's important to prioritize yourself. Self-care is very important. Okay, just making sure we're on track there. So now, everybody nowadays has a lot on their plate. There's a lot going on, there's a lot of people we're helping, but self-care is super important. Like the airlines say, you want to put your mask on first before helping others. And you want to pay attention to your stress level, any symptoms of anxiety or depression or other mental health concerns. These all can affect your brain and the health of your brain. So talk to your doctor about how you're feeling, both physically and mentally. And some of the healthy habits we're going to be talking about in this program are good examples of self-care. For example, studies have found that regular physical activity also decreases stress, increases your ability to manage stress, and leads to a better overall mood. You want to get that dopamine and all the good chemistry that's going on in your body with physical activities. It all contributes to your mental health. So talking taking some time to care for yourself is super important, as I mentioned. If you're caring for others, you definitely want to be sure you're caring for yourself. Even if you're busy with very, very full schedule, it helps to take a few minutes to give yourself a break. Sometimes you have to calendar these in your schedule. But this can help boost your mood and lower your stress level. And remember, it's not selfish to focus on yourself. Think about some things you like doing and how you can build breaks into your day and how you can focus on your self-care. We have a few tips coming up here. Take a nap. Sometimes you just need to stop and just have a few minutes of quiet time. Sipping a cup of tea or other favorite beverage sometimes can help lower stress. Go for a walk. The physical activity can get the good energy and good chemistry going through your body. Playing a game or completing a puzzle. Reading, dancing, singing, making art, cooking or baking, and laughing. I'm going to do a little exercise with everybody here today, and that's why I'm laughing already. I'm smiling. Is everybody here happy? I want you to think about the funniest joke you've ever heard, and for just a minute, I want to hear a fake laugh. I just want to hear what everyone's laugh sounds like. On the count of 3, we're going to laugh. 1, 2, 3. So, I want to share with you, research shows that even fake laughter offers many of the same health benefits as genuine laughter, because the brain and body often can't distinguish between the two. So if you're having a bad day, just stop, take a deep breath, and laugh. It helps with your mood and your stress levels. The physical act of laughing can, even when we're forced, can trigger a positive physiological response that impacts both the mental and physical health. So would anyone like to share real quickly how you prioritize your self-care? Just 2 quick responses. Anybody do anything for yourself? Just stop and, yes. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Laughter yoga. I've heard of goat yoga, but now laughter yoga. Yes. Exactly. Plus, it's contagious. When you smile, someone else wants to smile. I started smiling and I saw all of your beautiful smiles. You're all smiling back at me. It feels good. It feels good for me and it feels good for you. So, thank you for sharing. Okay, so let's see what the science tells us. Oh, did I skip it? Sorry. No, first we're going to talk about get moving, and that's the next step, physical activity. So now, what does the science tell us about moving and being physically active? Yep, make sure I'm on the right screen. So many studies have found that consistent physical activity is associated with lower risk of cognitive decline. So as I said, getting moving, physical activity, going for a walk, super important. Some researchers say that if people had to choose one thing to do to improve the brain function, it should be physical activity. Evidence suggests that physical activity may directly benefit brain cells. And by increasing blood and oxygen flow, again, to your heart, which leads to your brain, what's good for your heart is good for your brain, it may also reduce other dementia risk factors such as high blood pressure and diabetes. So physical activities is the most important. Most researchers believe that exercise should be regular and on the more vigorous side, and that getting that heart pumping and blood flowing. Other studies have shown benefits from more milder activities such as walking or strength training. However, we don't yet have a single recipe for what may work best. So I say whatever makes you feel good is probably good for you. And so whether it's walking or joining a gym or any kind of dancing, laughing, it's all part of physical activity. For most people, any increase in movement is a positive change that can have an impact on your overall health. So what kind of activities can I do? It can feel hard or overwhelming to think about adding more movement into an already full day, but little changes add up. Research shows that even 20 to 30 minutes of walking a few times a week can have health benefits. The most important thing is to be as active as you can and to do activities that you enjoy, and then you will continue to do them. So what activities do you want to try? How can you build more physical activity into your day? And is there someone that you can join you? Again, combining the physical activity with the socializing. Yes? Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I don't think a lot of people could hear you in front, but we'll save that till the end. We'll ask some more questions at the end, and I can walk around with the mic. That way everyone can hear. It'll be a little easier. It was very difficult to hear. I'm going to have her repeat it at the end, because then I'll be able to walk around with the mic. Okay? Okay. Oh, you found your keys. Good. Let's hold it for the end, and then I can bring the mic around for you. Right. Yeah, so I think she's, so everyone else can hear, what she's talking about is, when you're sitting at the computer, it's not good to be sitting at the computer for more than 45 minutes to an hour, and that's wise. You want to, even if you're setting an alarm to just get up and walk around a little bit. When you're sitting and looking at the computer, even your eyes, it's good to look away for a bit. Get up, move around. Movement is very important. So however you can incorporate movement throughout your day, you want to start to add that. We're going to save the rest of the questions till the end, though, please. That way I can walk around with the mic. All right, so a few of the tips here. Let's see, which one are we on? Yeah. Find things that might already be part of your day. So if there's, again, if you can go for a walk around the block with some neighbors or some friends, family, have family come over and go for a walk, those are all important things. If this is new for you, start small and find things that might already be a part of your day. Walk around your neighborhood, take the stairs more often, or get off the bus a step earlier. My grandmother used to always tell us whenever we were shopping to park as far away as possible, because then you get a little more activity when you have to get to the car. So we would do that quite often. Think about what activities you like or that you want to try to do, and try to move quickly to get your heart rate up and break a little bit of a sweat. That's going to be getting your oxygen flowing better. Ask friends or family to join you. This way you can make it social and get support for starting something new or making it a routine. Just making it habit is going to be helpful as well. So next, we're going to move to nutrition. Eating healthy, super important. It is important for your overall health. Diet may reduce your risk of many diseases. And so what does the science tell us? As we've already discussed, what's good for the heart is also good for the brain. The same is true when it comes to the foods we eat. We know that healthy fuel for the body benefits brain functioning. Eating a balanced diet may reduce your risk of heart disease, cancer, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, stroke, and diabetes. But there are many different opinions about what is best and the way that we eat food. So research on the relationship between nutrition and cognitive functioning is somewhat limited, but it does point to the benefits of balanced nutrition. And two good examples are the DASH diet and the Mediterranean diet. DASH stands for Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension, if you didn't know that. And the Mediterranean diet is also a good one to use. So there's some key elements here. What we know is that, So the DASH diet, let's skip to the DASH diet, is flexible and balanced eating plan. Studies show that the DASH diet lowers high blood pressure and improves levels of blood lipids, which is the fat that's in our blood. And that's why it's a good one for to stop hypertension. But this may reduce the risk of developing cardiovascular disease because the DASH diet is a healthy way of eating. It may also lower the risk of osteoporosis, cancer, heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. The Mediterranean diet incorporates the basics of healthy eating along with the traditional cooking style of countries bordering the Mediterranean Sea. A research of more than 1.5 million healthy adults demonstrated that following a Mediterranean diet could reduce the risk of death from heart disease and cancer. It may also reduce the risk of Parkinson's and Alzheimer's disease.
What about family, this is a mother or father have Alzheimer's or dementia, and does it affect their children?
I will love to answer that at the end. I don't want to get people confused, but that's a very good question that I do get a lot, and we're going to save that to the end if you don't mind. So these are just a few examples, again, of diets and the nutrition that we want to be focusing on. The key elements are listed down below. They are eating a lot more fruits and vegetables, healthy proteins. You want to focus on healthier oils, adding fish, aiming on a low saturated fats. You want to stay away from the processed foods, deep fried foods, and large amounts of sugar and salt. It's never too late to adopt a heart-healthy diet, and studies do show that making these changes, even in later life, can benefit brain health. Well, we're going to go back and it's stuck. So if you just even focus on what's down below, just eating more fruits and vegetables, you can find many recipes. You can find, if you go online and search either the DASH diet or the Mediterranean diet, there will be some recipes you can pull up. But if you just focus more on these kinds of foods, then you're gonna eliminate the sugars, eliminate the salts, eliminate the processed foods, then you're gonna be doing a much better job. Yes, you can Google it online. Yes, you can pull it up online. But this is the gist of it. The items here below is what we should be focusing on. Yes. There's a lot of great diets and nutritionists out there that have specialties and recipes. Yeah, that's a deeper dive. We could do a whole presentation just on diet alone. But so this is overall a higher focus on what we should be doing, and then each of these things we could have a whole presentation on. So eating healthy, how can I cook differently? Using the healthier oils. I do know that with the oils, the healthier ones don't turn to fat when you're cooking. The trans fats is what you want to avoid, because as you're cooking with oils and they turn to that's the more cancerous kinds of oils. So there are a lot more healthy oils. I know olive oil is one of them. Avocado oils. There's a lot of really good healthy oils. But again, you can find all of that online. What healthy foods can I swap in? So, if you want to replace a donut with an apple, that's a good thing. So try to eliminate some of the processed foods and incorporate more of the healthy foods. And trying new foods can be exciting. And if you want to start researching recipes that are healthy and taste exceptionally good as well. So again, here you've got the olive oil is one of them. And instead of butter, you want to try not to use as much butter. Let's see, what else? So you want to use sodium-free spices or flavorings instead of salt. I have recently heard that if you use cayenne pepper, it helps with your circulation. And, it causes the blood flow to come to your face and everything. So some of the spicier foods can help also with that oxygen that's going through your body. Focus on what you can add instead of what you're taking away, such as adding fruit as a snack or vegetable to your pasta. Choose plain, fresh, frozen, or canned vegetables. You can build meals around vegetables, beans, or whole grains. And choose fresh or frozen skinless poultry, fish, or other lean cuts of meat. So there is a note here about vitamins and supplements, and I know there's a lot of people who feel both ways, but when it comes to vitamins and supplements, there are many, many available out on the market today. There's a lot of them that have a lot of claims of being beneficial. The World Health Organization says that vitamin supplements are not recommended to reduce the risk of cognitive decline and dementia, but more so a balanced nutrition like we just discussed, and that's one of the biggest advantages for promoting health. You also want to pay attention to labels for supplements. They cannot make drug claims because they are not approved by the FDA Food and Drug Administration. But talk to your doctor. The best way to understand and address how to care for yourself is to talk to your doctor. There may be something that your body is missing. Again, knowing those numbers is super important. So maybe your doctor might have you add something that your body is missing. But you don't want to just automatically take a bunch of supplements that your body does not need. So talk to your doctor. So another quick challenge. True or false, challenging your brain may help lower your risk of cognitive decline. I see a lot of heads nodding yes. So this is true. Continuing to challenge your mind as we age may lower the risk of cognitive decline. So when you challenge yourself, your mind might have short or long-term benefits for your brain. But let's talk about what is cognitive engagement. Okay, make sure I'm on the right slide. Cognitive or mental engagement is a term that means keeping our minds active. Anything that uses your mind in challenging ways is cognitive activity and can possibly have benefits for your brain. This can be learning new skills, playing the piano, learning a new instrument, working on a challenging task, or engaging in ongoing learning. So you want to continue to learn something new. What does the science tell us? Scientists believe that as you use your mind in new and challenging ways, your brain builds new connections between brain cells. The more connections you have, the more nimble your brain is, and the better you may be able to guard against the effects of injuries or diseases that can compromise brain function. Cognitive engagement encourages blood flow to the brain, and mentally stimulating activities may possibly maintain or even improve cognition. Formal education is also important. Research has shown that engaging in classroom-based learning led by professionally trained teachers will help keep your brain healthy and can protect you from developing dementia. Some researchers believe that may be due to education creating a more robust network of communication pathways between your neurons in the brain. So just keeping your brain active. But what you may not want to do is doing the same thing over and over again, because then you're not learning something new. You can be playing your favorite puzzle or board game, and that's fun, but you want to also incorporate something that is new for your brain. So challenge yourself. What kind of new hobbies can you learn? One of the best ways to stay challenged and keep your brain as resilient as possible is to engage in activities that require learning new things or solving problems. So here's a couple other ideas is to take a class at a local college or community center. You can try new cooking techniques with your new nutrition and diet that you're going to be doing. You can create something artistic. Drawing and painting is great. Learning to paint or play a new instrument or learn a strategic game. Got a little tongue twisted there. Okay, I think I just jumped right through that. And so staying connected is the next thing. Socialization is super important as well. What does the science tell us about socializing? There is some research that shows connecting with others may support brain health. Those who are regularly engaged with other people also tend to have reduced rates of mortality and disabilities. We know that people don't do well in isolation. Through the whole COVID process, we've learned a lot from that as well. When people feel well connected to others, they tend to make healthier choices in other parts of their lives as well. So staying active and socializing is important. There are many ways to connect with others and reap the benefits of social interaction. As always, do activities that are meaningful to you. These will provide the greatest connection with those around you. Think about how you like to connect with others and where they might be some new opportunities for you to do so, such as getting involved in your community or joining a club or group. And being social with these kinds of gatherings is important. So we're going to go into some tips for staying connected. You can volunteer for the Alzheimer's Association. You can join the Walk to End Alzheimer's. We just had it in the San Fernando Valley recently, but there are other walks nearby that are still coming up. You can schedule regular phone calls or video chats with family. Maybe there's some people that you know that's not in the area, maybe living in another state you want to connect with. Then you can also visit with friends and family and become involved in your community. Okay, and so just as a recap, what we've learned here today is that in general, a key principle is to what is good for your heart is good for your brain. And the important elements of healthy living for your brain and body include all of these things we just mentioned: getting quality sleep, 7 to 9 hours, being smoke-free. If you're smoking now, stop. Taking care of your mental health, being physically active and eating healthy, and challenging yourself and staying socially connected. All of these things have potential benefits. And in fact, there is ongoing research into how engaging in multiple activities across these areas may have the greatest benefit for your brain health. For example, if you're being active, you can also be social by bringing a friend. You can double up on some of these activities. You can be eating healthy. You could be cooking with a friend. That's also fun and engaging. And so whenever possible, think about how you can make changes that affect more than one area at the same time. And as many of you shared some great things throughout the presentation here, I did ask a couple questions, you can make small changes that will have significant impact, helping you live as well as possible, and it's never too early to start to build healthy habits. But before we wrap up, I just want to go over a few points of the Alzheimer's Association. We'd like to give some resources at the end here. So the Alzheimer's Association leads the way to end Alzheimer's and all other dementias by accelerating global research, driving risk reduction and early detection, and maximizing quality care and support. Our vision is a world without Alzheimer's and all other dementia. The association offers many resources for information and support. And so here's 3 areas here. We have our 24/7 helpline. If you do have any specific questions or concerns, you can call that number, and they're available every single day of the year, all day long. If you're up at 2 a.m., you can't figure out how to get back to sleep, you want to call the association, you can do that. They have highly trained and knowledgeable staff who can help with education, decision-making support, crisis assistance, and resource identification. There's always someone available in a majority of languages as well. The online resource at alz.org, as I said in the beginning, there are other educational presentations you can find there as well, alz.org/education. And the Alzheimer's Association and AARP Community Resource Finder, which includes a huge list of resources that are in your area that include long-term care and community-based services, local association offices, and additional programs and support services. So now we are going to jump to questions. But I am going to leave this up on the screen if anybody does want to write down that phone number or the website. But if I'd like to have Savannah come and join me. She is the program education manager. And so there, that should be working now.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Yes. Thank you, Theresa. Thank you to Valley Best Shalom. We're very pleased to be here today. As she said, I am the program and education manager for the Alzheimer's Association. I cover the greater San Fernando Valley with programs, care, and support. And so I can't emphasize enough how important these resources are up here. We have local education support groups, in person and virtual. So if you know anyone who is struggling with this disease or who's a caregiver, these are extremely important resources for them to know. It's completely free, 100%. All the time. So we really just appreciate you getting the word out there about the programs, and I guess we'll go into official questions. So this gentleman here, I believe,
Yes.
had a question about family history. So do you want to repeat that?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Repeat your question.
Oh, yes. So I was wondering what testing is being done regarding if your parents have Alzheimer's, and the children, would they be getting it themselves?
Okay, so the question is, he's basically saying if you have a parent or a family connection that has Alzheimer's, is there a higher likelihood of developing the disease yourself? And the answer is yes. So if you have a parent that has the disease or a sibling, you are at a higher risk of developing the disease, but it isn't deterministic, which means that it's not a definitive thing that you'll get the disease. About 40% of, sort of your risk is 40% is in your power, right, with lifestyle risk reduction efforts. So that's why we're here today, because we're trying to tell you that there are ways to reduce your risk of getting the disease.
And just to add to that a little bit, to think about how that affects people, there's really only about 5 to 10% of cases that are due to genetics. But there is maybe roughly 20% or so that is due to family history. And that's where I explained earlier that families often do similar things. So as Savannah mentioned, 40% is in our power. It's in our control. We can do these things to help prevent it. And so it doesn't mean because you had a family member, you're sure to get it. I'm also part of that. My grandmother had it, my dad's showing signs. So I am here to educate and to help us all learn how to live a healthier life and try to prevent the disease.
Thank you, Theresa. Any other questions? Okay, there's a few, so I'm going to go from the ones I've seen.
What distinguishes Alzheimer's from other forms of dementia?
So as I mentioned, you have the dementia is the overall umbrella. It's the symptoms that you're experiencing that is causing mental decline, that's causing a change in your lifestyle. Alzheimer's is one of those diseases. There is the plaques and tangles is what you're going to find with the Alzheimer's disease specifically, but there's a lot of different diseases that affect your brain differently. There's also vascular dementia that it has to do more with your heart. So, I don't know if you want to elaborate on the Alzheimer's part, but each disease that is causing that dementia is going to affect you differently. But even with Alzheimer's, 10 people have Alzheimer's, they all individually may be experiencing different things. So it's not you're going to automatically experience this. It's different for everybody.
Yeah, so similar to what Theresa said, right? There's over 100 different forms or types of dementia. So a way to think about it is you know cancer, right? But you'd never accept just a cancer diagnosis. You'd say, what type of cancer, right? You'd say, oh, this is breast cancer, this is lung cancer, right? So dementia is similar. It's not a diagnosis. The diagnosis is Alzheimer's. The diagnosis is vascular dementia or Lewy body or Parkinson's with dementia. So that's what we want to encourage people to get, is if there is, a lot of times doctors in the past would say, oh, your loved one has dementia. That's what they did to my grandma. But what type of dementia, right? They didn't take the extra steps to do the diagnostics. So that's what we're saying here. So hopefully that distinguishes it a bit.
Mm-hmm.
People are living longer now. Mm-hmm. What was the difference between when they lived less years and the prevalence of dementia and now? My mother had dementia in her 90s, but she taught yoga until she was 95, and she died at age 98. So I worried that maybe I'm heading that way. And someone from USC came here several years ago, you may have heard it, some of you, and asked me if I'd submit myself for testing. I told my sister about it, and both of us decided we don't want to know at that point. But I think, isn't it true, because we're living into our 90s, that there's more chance of that developing?
Well, I will share that there are over 55 million people with Alzheimer's around the world. 7 million are here in the United States alone, with, I think, 13 million people caregiving for them. So that gives you some numbers, and those numbers have definitely increased over the years. The other thing is that the later in life, you increase your chances. I think I may have missed that part in my presentation, but over the age of 65 increases your chances, but over the age of 85, there's maybe 1 in 3 are developing the disease. So age is not does not cause Alzheimer's, but the older you are, you do have a higher risk of developing the disease, which is why we share these healthy tips. It's why we advocate for people to get tested, because with the diagnosis, there are treatments that can help clear those plaques and tangles right now. It's not a cure, but if you get diagnosed early enough in the early stages with this treatment, it can help slow down the progression, reduce the progression of the disease, so that hopefully within the next X number of years, we will have a cure. And that's what we're working towards at the Alzheimer's Association.
Well, thank you.
You just take-
Thank
Go ahead.
both of you for coming today and providing us with wonderful information. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
We have some materials outside for healthy habits, the 10 warning signs, an overview of our services, and we also have a sign-in sheet if you'd like some information from us.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
We have to set up our new
Okay.
speaker.
Yes. Yeah, so I know that not everyone can hear her, and she's right. There are, as I shared just a minute ago, some of the higher risks is when you're older, but there are cases that are even as early as 30 or 40 years old, and that's called early onset. So anybody really at any age can develop the disease, and some of it may be due to genetics. We're not sure some of the reasons why the early onset comes on. Maybe there's an accident or something that happens physically to the person, but she wanted to share that information. Thank you, everybody.